Happy Friday, everyone. In an assignment last week, I asked you guys what you thought I should do with my hair now that I've cut it off. It wasn't until I read your answers that I realized the question was not very clear. Many of you said things like I should dye my hair crazy colors and even let you guys, my students, pick the color, or shave a smiley face into what's left of my hair. One person even said I should become a Russian spy. But looking back, I totally understand how my question wasn't clear enough. What I really meant was, what should I do with all this hair that I cut off and clearly I still have? Some of you said I should save it, put it away so that I can remember all the good times. Some said I should give it away to people who actually need it, like cancer patients. Some even said I should sell it or auction it off. But there was one answer that definitely stood out from all my students, and that's Jonathan Castellans for my 8-2 section. He said you should buy a pole and attach the cut-off dreads at the end of the pole and then use it as a mop. Interesting idea. Of course, I'm not actually going to do this, but I do appreciate the creativity and humor in his answer. I would also like to shout out 6th graders Giovanni Garcia, Christian Ortiz, and Amir Al-Shaif, 7th graders Anayeli Guzman, Milan Millon, and Edison Cepeda, and 8th graders Stuart Santos and Andri de los Santos for your standout responses as well. Thanks to you all. Now, all joking aside, I want to briefly address some of the turmoil going on in the country and our communities right now, and also how we can respond. I know that this pandemic was no joke. It's been straight up scary, and to be honest, I was also feeling very angry that so many people around the country seemed not to be taking it very seriously, including members of my own family in Florida. And then last week, the world watched the tragic death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, and as a result, the powerful return of the Black Lives Matter movement. At the same time, there's been looting and violence in our neighborhoods, which makes me even more angry and even more scared. But please remember that these are two very different things. Obviously, I'm very much against the fires raging in our community. But I do support the protesters who are clamoring for change, and I want to make sure that you all hear me say this loud and clear. Black Lives Matter. Back in 2015, I recorded a tribute album for one of my favorite singer-songwriters, John Lennon. He was a member of the 1960s band The Beatles who had recorded a song called Blackbird. Even though they were a bunch of white dudes from England, a country pretty far from the US, they were all well aware of the racism that existed here and the civil rights movement that was trying to eliminate that racism. They wrote the song Blackbird for those protesters. So when I recorded my tribute album to John Lennon, it was very important to me that I include the song Blackbird because protesters were still having to say Black Lives Matter. It strikes me and saddens me that this song is still relevant after 5 years, after 50 years. I hope that you guys will check out the song, which is also linked in the description. It does include some recorded audio from Black Lives Matter protests, so if that might frighten you or trigger you, then please don't watch it now. This isn't an assignment. I just want to give you guys an opportunity to hear how I've responded to these kinds of issues in the past. Time will tell how I will respond to everything that is still happening now. One last point I want to make. This recording was my expression 5 years ago, my way of vocalizing my own support of the movement through music. You guys may have a different perspective or belief from me, and that's okay. That's actually the great thing about music is whatever your beliefs, thoughts, or feelings, I hope that you guys can also find an outlet to express yourselves, your fears, your frustrations, but also your hopes and your dreams through music. Of course, I'm here to support you in that in whatever ways you need, and of course I would love to hear and listen to your expression through music or otherwise whenever you're ready to share it. I wish you guys all the best, and I hope you have a peaceful weekend. Peace.